Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me this evening, the no longer famished Earl Nieto. Earl's got a wonderful little snack with him this evening. Earl, you were just showing me your snack. Care to share with the class?
Yeah, I'm not sharing with nobody. Just so you know, I'm not sharing with anybody.
Earl is
at home with me, so
Earl's getting that brain food in this evening. So glad Earl, we are glad to see that you are staying full and refreshed, and hopefully you are staying out of this godforsaken heat. We were just talking a few minutes ago. I don't know about you, but it is insanely hot outside and makes life kind of miserable.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculously hot. I was in Albuquerque over the weekend, and we stayed at a hotel. Thank God it was nice and fresh. But when we were driving away, it was so hot, I heard banjos playing.
Okay. Did you think you're driving through Deliverance or something?
Yeah, it was bad. Like, I was driving into the pit of hell, and it was like, yeah, this is where people go to die. Like, this, if this is what hell is like, I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this, Earl. This is a discussion I had off air, and real quickly, I've been told that a classroom of 3 and 4 year olds really enjoy those snacks. By the way,
yeah, and a household of 1 also enjoys them. Actually, Marlena and Maya enjoy them too. We, for whatever reason, went ahead and bought a pack of 4.
Earl, is there something you're needing to tell us?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right.
And you guys don't get to know until I know.
So I wanted to ask again. This is a discussion I've had off air with a number of different folks. Would you rather take this dry ass heat, or would you rather have like 90, 95 degrees and some humidity?
I would rather have some humidity because at least my sweat can cool me off.
Mm-hmm.
So I was telling you before we hopped on, this past Saturday, like I mentioned a little bit before, I was in Albuquerque all weekend. I had a Maya Marlena appreciation weekend. Nothing official. I mean, it's not like a holiday or anything like that. Yet. They don't know that yet either.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to the Isotopes game on Saturday. For those of you here in Albuquerque, the Isotopes weather, or the Albuquerque weather the past couple days has been like lows of 195 and highs of like God knows what.
Mm-hmm.
So we're watching the game. The first pitch was like 100 degrees, 102 degrees, some stupid number. And then around the 7th or 8th inning, it was 88 degrees. And I told Marlena, it's bad that 88 degrees is comfortable right now.
Yeah, no kidding. I got out and the other morning, and it was 80 degrees or 82 degrees in the car. No, it's this morning. I do believe it was like 82 degrees. I'm like, okay, this is like wonderful. I would take this like year round if I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been miserable. And we were talking, the apartment complex I live in, the fitness center has not been open in quite some time, and they kept telling us, okay, we're going to open it now, because I've been working on getting back in shape and doing some running and things like that. And I made the decision to run in 103 degree heat, 104 degree heat yesterday. Not exactly the smartest decision in the world. But yeah, you mentioned,
ladies and gentlemen, I do want to make a disclaimer that of the 3 of us, because yes, there are 3. You haven't seen the third guy for a while. He called me today, so I know he's still alive. But rumor has it that Seth is actually the smart one.
that is the rumor. That is the rumor indeed. But again, I've also been told I'm a soulless robot. So yeah, obviously running in heat doesn't do anything. So, but yeah, no, it was absolutely miserable. It really was. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather take the humidity. Like, honestly, just if it was like 10 degrees cooler, I'd be happy.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with it. But
I'd be happy with 5 degrees cooler
about it. Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not hitting the triple digits,
Yeah.
that's a cutoff point right there.
So you had your question. I guess it's my turn for my question because I've had a question all day, and I've actually planned for this little shindig that we have every Tuesday night. Sometimes on Wednesdays, sometimes on any day that ends in a Y. So you are traveling here in the very near future.
Mm-hmm. I am.
In a week and a half, 2 weeks. So when you travel,
mm-hmm.
Sorry, my brain was kind of trying to load there for a second too. So when you travel, what's your dietary or meal plan change when you're here rather than over there?
In terms of like what I eat or how much I eat?
I don't know. The question was very vague.
Okay. Well, because there's a couple different ways to take that question. So
you don't have to answer that, by the way, because it's a dumb question.
No, it's legitimate. Like, it's something that I do look at anytime I do travel. So, like, I did recently travel to Georgia, saw my family, hung out with them, and the cooking down in Georgia is vastly different from what is done here.
A lot of butter,
a lot of butter, a lot of butter, a lot of salt. That's very true. A lot of fried
Rumor
stuff.
has it, folks. Just so you know, if you do go to Georgia, they have salted butter.
They do. They do, in fact, have salted butter. They also have hot boiled
buttered
peanuts.
Salt. They also have buttered salt.
Probably.
And
but no, it really is, because I try to stay pretty strict with what I eat here, at least in terms of how much I eat and when I eat. But when I'm with my family, you kind of adhere to what they're doing. So realistically for me, I tend to get into the habit of I will eat more and more frequently, and I'll also drink more when I'm out there, adult beverages, so to speak. So I tend to let myself go a little bit in terms of how much. I'm a little less strict on how much I eat and drink and things like that. But I still try to stick within a caloric guideline, because I don't want to go too far off the rails to get too far off of what I'm doing. But yeah, it's as long as I maintain a level of activity while I'm there, I'm generally okay. So like this past trip I took, I was deep sea fishing for 2 days. If you've never been deep sea fishing, you know that when we go, we do 12-hour trips. So you're in the sun for 12 hours, basically baking, and you're spending, the entire day trying to reel fish in from, 300-400 feet down. So there are, you're expending a lot of calories while you're doing this. And so during that, like, you're eating off and on throughout the day. For the trip I have coming up, I'm going to be over in Hartford for part of it, hanging out there, going to see the United match in Hartford. But yeah, it's just a matter of maintaining caloric and not getting just too far outside of what the norm is. And yes, I do plan on being active while I'm there as well. Going to be having some activities and things going on to help with that. But no, but yeah, I don't know. That's a long-winded way of saying I do tend to eat more than what I normally do here, but I try to keep it in check.
Cool.
Okay. Did that answer the question, or did that satisfy wherever the question came from?
Sure.
Was that a question from Marlena?
No, that was not.
Okay.
Actually, she hasn't even texted me in a while, so.
Okay.
Oops, wrong password. No, we're actually planning for a trip ourselves. We have a long weekend, so she's packing bags and bathing kids and doing whatnots.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I hope wherever you're going, you have a good time. But yeah, it's like I said, just
let's just say where we're going is. I'll tell you the weather right now where we're going.
Okay.
Right now where we're headed. How do I work this stupid app?
But while you're looking that up, I did get a question. Do y'all not have salted butter? So there is salted butter. It's just extremely hard to find out here at times. I tend to not use it when I cook, but yeah, it was in short supply for quite a while. I don't know why. It was just really hard to find.
So right now where we're going, it is 94 degrees.
Okay.
Tomorrow will be 108 degrees. And then when we're out there, it'll be 102 and then 100.
You're going somewhere in the heart of Texas?
Pretty close.
Well, that should be fun. You guys going for any particular reason?
Just a funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry. You made it sound as though you were going on vacation, and
no, we don't vacation. We're practically married. We don't vacation.
Okay, then. So my condolences for your loss. Her loss.
Hers.
Okay, my condolences. I do apologize. It sounded like it was a vacation. I do apologize. So my condolences. I have no transition from that.
So with that, we have soccer to talk about.
Jesus Christ. We do have soccer to talk about. Obviously, New Mexico United hosts an international friendly against Sunderland AFC tomorrow evening out at the Lab. Should be an interesting night out there. Before we do get to that, though, we do have 2 new signings for New Mexico United that we are excited to talk about. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. It sounded like a vacation to Jane, too. But yeah, so yeah, 2 new signings for New Mexico United. First off, they announced the acquisition of Jacobo Reyes on a loan from Monterrey Rayados for the end of the season, and is also possibly with an extension beyond 2023. A younger forward. He has 142 appearances for CF Monterrey of Liga MX, Rayados 2 of Liga de Expansión MX, and Monterrey U20s. I mean, this is a guy that he's apparently played over 10,000 minutes already in his professional career. A forward, obviously, this is going to be a dynamic signing. And with the upcoming departure of Alex Wagner, both the signing of Reyes and also announced yesterday Isaac Zuleta from Getafe of La Liga. Another signing. 2 young dynamic forwards. This is, I think, it's an exciting move for New Mexico United, and also shows the reach that one Idemar Caden has. One question that I saw on social media, and Earl, I mean, there's going to be a number of questions about this. Number one, how excited for you are the fact that the club has brought in 2 forwards yet again mid-season, and what does this do for guys like Josh Dowling, who's already seeing a reduced number of minutes, and Greg Hurst?
It doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. I mean, you have Josh Dowling, who is doing his thing. You have Greg Hurst, who's kind of been playing the midfield, attacking midfield position. But you still have someone who's shined out and has showed up every week that he's got the chance to start up top, and that's Brucey. I mean, I like the signings, don't get me wrong. I like them because we can always use help somewheres. And with Eric Quill, you're not guaranteed to play in the position that you normally play, just as Daniel Bruce, for example. So, yeah, I mean, I like the signings because it expands what we can do. I mean, maybe they come in and play midfield, and then second half they come in and switch to the striker position, to the forward position. So it'd be nice. I don't know. It's a tough one for me because We saw how it worked out a couple seasons ago when we stockpiled forwards to only use 2 of them for the season. And for whatever reason, we were hoarding them. So hopefully Eric Quill's different and uses them in a different role, and instead of putting them in a position to take someone else's spot.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, we've postulated over the past few weeks that United would be in the market. I thought we were looking more for a midfielder or defensive player. Obviously, Nicky Hernandez being signed on a short-term contract helped. And we saw last year, like you said, you mentioned the stockpiling of forwards. It'll be interesting to see what happens because, Darling, we received word that Darling not playing was coach's decision. It's not an injury related. It's just coach's decision. Hurst obviously has been seeing a bit more time than Darling has, but with the emergence of Daniel Bruce as being that number 9 for us right now, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if maybe Hurst and Dong just don't fit Eric Quill's system. Maybe bringing in these younger, more dynamic guys are better fit for the system. Maybe I'd hate to see Brucey lose time. I'd hate to see Amando Moreno lose time because they're guys who have really shown over these past several weeks under Eric Quill. Now, I don't want to discount what these two players can bring to the club. Zuleta is actually considered a domestic player. So he won't need a green card. He doesn't take up an international spot. He is eligible to play tomorrow night. I mean, it's and realistically, I've tried to find highlights of these guys. I've tried to find highlights and reach out, and there's really not much out there. But it's interesting. Again, it's really interesting to see. I like the aggressiveness of the signings. I think it's going to be beneficial to United in the long run. Again, particularly with the departure of Alex Wagner, a young guy who has played extremely well in his time so far with the club and is leaving to go to University of Michigan here in just a matter of weeks. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. And I think tomorrow night we may actually get to see Zuleta for quite a bit in the friendly against Sunderland.
And now that you say that, that kind of makes sense as to why maybe he brought in the 2 forwards. I mean, maybe it takes 2 to replace 1. We all know the fact that it takes, well, at least on this show here, it does take 2 to replace 1. And we still extend our thanks to Harry and Robert for filling in the shoes while I was out for a week. Robert, you're also not invited ever again, just so you know. But before we go any further, I have some personal business to take care of. Okay, let me see if I can figure this stupid thing out. Because I know they're watching now, so let me figure out how to do this.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, like we mentioned, I am going to Hartford here in a couple weeks. It'll be my second ever New Mexico United away day. I don't know if any other fans are going to the Hartford match. If you are, please look me up. I'll be there. I'm working on getting press credentials for myself and my girlfriend. We will be there in person watching the game. It'll be really interesting.
Wait. Did you just say girlfriend?
I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking news. Because his closest friends that he talks to about every other day didn't even know this.
Yeah, that's yeah. So yeah, we're gonna head out there. We're gonna see Hartford. We're gonna do some different things. But yeah, if you're going to Hartford, please let us know. Please let me know. Would love to meet up with some folks if you're going out there. So Earl, did you get your thing set up?
I got my thing. Give me a couple seconds. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, what is Earl doing? I see baby pictures. No, not baby pictures. Whatever you did not work because it's just in the background.
Dang it. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'll figure it out here in a couple seconds. You said it was just in the background?
Yeah, it was there. I didn't share it. I don't know what you were working on.
Okay. Share screen. Entire screen. This will work, I think. So now we see like triple of us. Now can you see it? Yeah.
Okay, we're adding this.
We're good?
Yeah, it's shared now. Yeah. What? There's no audio. I have no idea what. Oh, I see. Okay, I see the. Okay, we're playing Little Rascals for some reason. All right.
How do I
Thank
get
you.
out of this? Okay, there we go.
Thank you for that, Earl. If you are watching the show, Earl attempted to play a clip from Little Rascals. Yeah, Adam, I'm not even really 100% sure. There was no audio on Earl's clip, so we'll.
There's no audio?
No, there was no
audio. Oh, well.
All right, moving right along. So, yeah, Zuleta hopefully gets some minutes. Maybe Jacobo Reyes does tomorrow night as well against Sunderland AFC. Big night for New Mexico United as they host their second ever international friendly. This time, arguably, against a much bigger club than Cardiff City was in 2019. Sunderland AFC is a historic club. 145 years of history. They've been up and down. They're recently coming off of a rather sudden downturn in their fortunes, getting relegated out of the Premier League just 6 years ago. I made it all the way down to League One before working their way back up, where last season they made it to the EFL Championship playoffs and were eliminated in the semifinals. This is a big moment for New Mexico United. Earl, I know you said you watched the presser yesterday with the gaffer of Sunderland AFC. What was your takeaway from that? Any significant information we were able to glean as Earl eats his... Number one, Earl, you muted. Number two, finish your snack. Snack time is over.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good. No, he didn't really say anything noteworthy. I mean, the biggest thing he said is some of the guys in San Antonio played 45 minutes. The other played 45 minutes. He said 10 guys played 45 minutes. The other 10 played 45 minutes. So I'm assuming that means that he kept the keeper in the entire time. Just my assumption. I don't know. That's the cool thing about friendlies is you don't have a substitution limit.
Right.
You can do whatever you want, however you want it. He did say that some of the guys that he has are going to play the full 90 this week. He also said that he's been watching New Mexico United film and seeing what they're all about.
See, I think that's really interesting. The fact that you've got a championship level manager watching New Mexico United, picking up game film. And in my preview over on 117, I talked about the possibility we may not see guys for the full 90 minutes. We may see a lot of guys who are only playing 45, 60 minutes, particularly on our side. Guys, because we do have a match at the weekend against Sacramento Republic, who are leading the Western Conference at the moment. So I don't think we necessarily see a full 90 minutes from guys like Daniel Bruce or some others, but guys like Jacobo Reyes.
So you're wrong, actually. So yeah, we play on Wednesday. So we play tomorrow night against Sunderland, but then we play San Antonio on the 22nd, I believe.
No, it's Sacramento.
Is it Sacramento?
Yeah, Sacramento.
Okay, you're right. You're right. San Antonio's in August 7th.
Yeah, that's in August. So yeah, Meow Wolf night, Saturday night. So a guy like Jacobo Reyes, and real quick, I did get another question. Where are the new players coming from? Jacobo Reyes was a loan from Monterrey Rayados of Liga MX, and Isaac Zuleta was a transfer. It sounds like from Getafe of La Liga over in Spain. Again, guys who are clearly identified by Itamar, both have nationality here in the U.S., both considered domestic players. Jacobo particularly has, I believe he has dual nationality currently between us and Mexico. So really young guys excited to play. So for guys like them, I think this is an opportunity to come out and and play, maybe 60 minutes. But for guys like Daniel Bruce and Josh Suggs and some of the other guys, who've been around the entire season, I see Coach Quill giving them, 45, maybe 50 minutes instead of, running them ragged in, 100-degree heat ahead of Sacramento on Saturday.
Yeah, I definitely expect to see a lot of the younger guys play, just to keep fresh legs for Sacramento. I mean, obviously we're still dead in the middle of the season, where we are now playing in the dead heat summer. Like it sucks for the guys, and now that they're wearing black, it gets hotter. So I expect to see a bunch of the young kids that we have on the team. I expect to see Roy Ball, I'm drawing a blank. It starts with an R. Help me out here, bud.
Robles.
My bad. I expect to see Robles back there. I don't expect to see Kalen playing the full 90. He might. I expect to see Ford Parker back there. I don't expect to see Tambakis.
Yeah, which would be similar to what we did back in 2019 in the match with Cardiff. You saw Cody come out and play 45. You saw, I want to say it was Ben at the time, come out and play 45 as well. And that match, United pulled out a draw, 1-1 with Cardiff City. But I mean, Sunderland is, in my opinion, this Sunderland squad is better than that Cardiff squad was in 2019. And this is a Sunderland side that is more than likely going to be fighting for promotion back into the Premier League this year. Really strong showing after, during their first year back in the Championship last year. And they returned a lot of guys from last season. I tried to come up with a preview for this. I tried writing, but I ended up writing more about a brief overview of the recent history of Sunderland and their struggles, and the fact they have a documentary on Netflix, Sunderland Till I Die. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Fantastic docuseries about their relegation from the Premier League and their fall all the way down to the League One and the struggles that went along with that. Which we talked about promotion relegation last week. If that comes to the USL Championship, that's something that we could see for New Mexico United as well. But this is preseason for Sunderland. These are guys. You may see some guys who are fighting for first team minutes, who are fighting for a spot in that first team 18, or at least the opportunity to have chance to play week in and week out over in the Championship. I mean, their regular season is about 2.5 weeks away.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're not in day right now is, we both agree on that part where they're fighting for their spot. So Sunderland has, and I hate to say it like this. So Sunderland, if you're listening, which I highly doubt you are, but if you are, thanks, by the way, I appreciate it. Sunderland doesn't have much to play for because they still have weeks to prepare. Mm-hmm. New Mexico United is in the middle of the season where they're clawing for a playoff position. They're clawing to hold on to the playoff position that they have. They're clawing for a higher seed so we can host a playoff game and potentially win the cup. I mean, there's still so much going for United versus Sunderland, who hasn't had anything going yet.
Yeah, it goes back to one of the issues I had back in 2019 with this preseason friendly, or I should say this international friendly coming in the middle of the season. It comes down to, does it benefit the club? Yes. Are there risks associated with doing this in the middle of the season? Absolutely there are. You run guys out there in a match that, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean anything competitively. If God forbid someone picks up an injury here, people are going to question, what's the point of this? And taking that into consideration, Earl, what do you say to these people when that type of conversation comes up? What's the point of hosting international friendly? What's the point of running that extra risk? Why did you leave somebody out there for 60 minutes instead of 45? Then they got hurt.
So what I would say to them is, and I'll be professional here. It's beneficial for both sides. One is beneficial for Sunderland United right now. Sunderland and New Mexico United. Sunderland is trying to figure out who they are going to run out week 1 of their season, which is coming quick upon them. So they have things to learn. They have gelling to still do. They still have to figure out the puzzle that is a season of 30-something games for them. We're 18, 19 games in, sitting in, I think, 7th place right now.
I'll double check that, but I think we're in 10th currently. I'll double check that.
We're sitting somewhere. I want to say we're in playoff spot right now.
That I can tell you we're not, because of the results at the weekend. We're in 9th place.
I didn't watch any soccer this past weekend, so I couldn't tell you. No, I lied. I watched 2 soccer matches this past weekend.
Yeah, Oakland picked,
and the other being the Mexico-Panama game.
Yeah, Oakland picked up a win at the weekend, so they jumped back ahead, and we fell to 9th, behind Phoenix Rising on tiebreakers.
Okay. So back to what I was saying. We still have a lot to learn, and playing a team of any caliber in the middle of the season that's not in our league. I mean, it could be Chicago Fire for all I care. The fact is, you're playing another team to learn more about your team. So this is Eric Quill's first international friendly, international, whatever they want to call it, of his United tenure. So now he came in halfway between the season. So now he gets to actually see who can compete at a high level, who can compete against a English Premier team, who is notably one of the most decorated English teams, most recognized English teams ever play.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned, 145 years of history for Sunderland AFC. This is obviously a huge test, a huge challenge for Eric Quill and his side to see what some of the players can do. And, some of these guys who've had international experience, like Armando Moreno and Reyes and Zoleta, who've played at that level, or not say not at the same level as Sunderland, but that have played internationally. It's a really good test. It's a really good test to see where New Mexico United stacks up. And in terms of, I think from a fitness standpoint, we'll have the edge in this match, particularly given the hashtag elevation, everybody drink. Given that, and given the fact, again, Sunderland's only had a handful of opportunities to actually get out. And, this is an atmosphere that they've never played in. I mean, I was reading something the other day during their match with San Antonio. It was, near 100 degrees here, or in San Antonio, I should say. And it was like 66 degrees back in England. So, it's a vast difference. So this is it's atmosphere, it's environment that these guys aren't used to. They've likely never played on a baseball field before. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with them. And, this obviously their second stop on their North American tour, San Antonio FC, the first one the other night, which they did win by a final of 3-1. They will close out their North American road trip against North Carolina FC on the 21st. So on Saturday, or I don't know, Friday. That is correct. So yeah, it's interesting. You see more and more clubs.
That is something that the head coach did say, though, in his presser, that when they played San Antonio night before last, San Antonio was a really, really skilled and athletic team. They're quick, they're fast. The way they get up and pass the ball quickly, it gave them frustration. It gave them fits, which that's good to see, because you look at it in the grander scheme of things, in the giant soccer world that we live in right now. You have the coach of the most decorated team in almost all of soccer saying that a measly USL team gave them fits.
Well, to be fair, San Antonio are the defending champions.
Well, I know that. They're the defending champions of lower, and I'm putting that in air quotes, of lower league soccer in the United States.
Yeah, that is true. I'm just trying to protect you for in case Robert and Harry come in.
And they can come in all that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean that goes to show the level of talent that USL has.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I mean I expect, and I'm happy it's gonna be on ESPN Plus.
Is it? I was curious. I couldn't find anything.
It is going to be on ESPN Plus. David Carl did one of his David leaks and said it will be on ESPN Plus.
Very cool. That's very good news. I honestly I didn't see that anywhere. And I've been I watched New Mexico United stuff pretty much all day long.
And that's good for United
mm-hmm.
because now you have all these Sunderland fans tuning in to a preseason friendly, mid-season friendly for us, an international friendly. That's more eyes on United, which is nice because now you have all these head coaches and coaches looking at United and seeing what kind of talent we have, which in the long run and grander scheme of things gets us more banjo points.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think this is, and one of the things that you mentioned to me in a text message earlier was that during the press conference, the manager for Sunderland did say that this has been in the works for over a year, getting this set up, and so really interesting to see the timeline on that getting prepared, and it just goes to show New Mexico United is making a name. They have been over the past 5 years. Obviously bringing in Cardiff in year one was a huge get for the club, and then just the national stage that the club has been put on, and now the international stage that the club is on is really giving them a lot of momentum. And if United can show well here on an international broadcast, against one of the oldest clubs in the world, it could mean big things for New Mexico United. It really could. It could attract a whole new level of attention from overseas, from talent, from agents. It's a huge opportunity for New Mexico United to come out and have this match tomorrow night.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, this will be a fun test to see what kind of talent we have, to see what kind of scheme Eric Quill can pull together to try to beat a top flight team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just looking real quick. There was actually a recap over on Sunderland's website about the match against San Antonio the other evening. And yeah, basically just completely changed out the 11 aside from the goalkeeper between the first and second half. So yeah, I would expect more of the same. Again, they're still trialing people. They're looking for who's going to make their first team squad, and the reserves. So a lot of fun to watch. And kick off tomorrow night, 7:00 at the Lab. If you don't have your tickets, get them. Get out there. This is going to be a tremendous night for New Mexico United. I know a friend of ours, Chris Hurst, is really excited for this. Sunderland being his childhood club. So it'll be interesting to talk to him tomorrow night and get his thoughts and reactions to the match. I know he was actually in San Antonio the other night watching that one. So will be really good to see Chris tomorrow night, talk to him, get his thoughts about seeing that next, letting his kids see Sunderland in person. So moving on, Saturday night, New Mexico United takes on Western Conference leaders Sacramento Republic FC. Republic started off the season really strong. They cooled off recently. They are unbeaten in 3 consecutive draws against Memphis 901, Riverhounds, and Rio Grande Valley. Their last win was back on June 24th against San Antonio FC. So it's been about a month since Sacramento Republic has won a match. They're obviously still one of the more dangerous clubs, not only in the league, but in the Western Conference as well. Still, really kind of surprising a number of people with just how well they're doing. I think at some point I am going to go back and listen to our prediction show to see what we thought about the Western Conference in particular. But I look at this match against Sacramento Republic. I look at how well United's been playing over the past month and a half under Eric Quill, really month basically. And I think this is a much better United team than what we saw earlier in the season. I think Sacramento, again, I think they've come down just a little bit. Not a lot. They have 5 draws in their past 5, and they're set in the past 7 matches. So really big opportunity for United to pick up points during Meow Wolf night. Obviously, the new kits were dropped today. New kits look fantastic, by the way. Earl, do you think United carries momentum over after the break? Do you think the international friendly messes with mentality a little bit going into Saturday night? What's the expectation against Sacramento Republic?
The expectations are exactly what they were last week. Win. I mean, we went a long stretch where we didn't see results go our way. I think we saw 4 matches that we didn't either win or we lost. Either we drew or we lost. So right now we started half the season fresh, where we had a new head coach, a new system, who's proven to want to win. I mean, we saw him come back from a deficit. I think we're down 2-0 to tie it up. So Eric Quill definitely has the momentum for it. I'm hoping that tomorrow's hype and hoopla and all the glitz and glamour of having Sunderland here does not overshadow Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. And while there is going to be some amount of ceremony and hoopla around tomorrow night, I think it's going to be a very different feeling from Saturday. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of excitement about the international friendly. Again, we mentioned big opportunity for New Mexico United to show out on an international stage. But back to league play on Saturday, it's going to be a completely different feel to that match. It's, you've got to flip that competitive switch, and it's going to be a vastly different. I think so. The atmosphere is going to be a little bit different. I think tomorrow night you're going to have a lot of folks, particularly in the stands, who are just kind of there, feeling things out. I mean, okay, why is this, top level club coming to play against our guys, But Saturday night, I think you have more of the folks who understand what's going on, how important league play is. And so I think there's just gonna be a different feeling about the park Saturday night. And that's a lot of the reason why I think Eric Quill, keeps some guys back a little bit tomorrow. Again, I don't think we see Brucey 90 minutes. I don't think we see a lot of guys going 60 minutes or more. Like I said, get them 45 to maybe 60, get their legs fresh for Saturday, get them loose. But I really don't see anyone going 90 minutes.
I think we see starters 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Daniel Robles come in, Kyle Colonna come in. We see the subs that you usually don't see come in.
Mm-hmm.
We see them come in and give our starters a break.
Yeah, I believe Nicky Hernandez is still under contract, at least for about 2 more weeks. So I think we see him. I think we see Zuleta. I think we see Reyes. You see some of the younger guys come in. I think you see kind of a split squad. So like you see, about 5, 6 starters in the first half, as well as some of the younger faces, some of the newer guys that haven't gotten as much. The same thing with second half.
Something else I think we see is the players who are coming off of injury,
mm-hmm.
who are day-to-day at this moment, which I know of one who should be day-to-day or very, 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 very close to being day-to-day.
I think Bees is still a couple weeks out.
if you say so. He's so the ones that are very close to being day-to-day or are day-to-day, then I see them come in for a good 20, 30 minutes to get kind of the rust off, knock the rust off of what they've had and get them back into game form. I don't expect to see them Saturday night, but I do expect to see them at least make an appearance for a couple minutes to at least knock some rust off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, Kelowna was out with injury for a little while. Bees, you know, with the fractured kneecap. I'm trying to think, you know, back on the timeline of his as far as when he posted that. And I think at that point they said somewhere around 8 weeks. I don't think we're quite there yet, but if he's back already, it will be interesting to see if he gets some time. But yeah, Saturday night, I see United going at this full bore. You know, guys like, you know, Brucey, Hurst, maybe Dalling get some play. Again, we've been told that Dalling is a coach's decision. It's not an injury concern. It's nothing like that. He's just not in the 18. So yeah, I mean, we've got to put best foot forward Saturday night against Sacramento. We've got to come out. We've got to stay strong. We still haven't seen the full 90 minutes that Coach Quill has talked about from the squad. You know, we still see, you know, 60 to 70 minutes, maybe a little bit more effort in most of the matches. But part of the problem with that too is that United played, I think, like 6 matches in 21 days, or something close to that. After Eric Quill's brought in. So yeah, it's with some time off. I think it'll be interesting to see. I think we do see a greater intensity level Saturday night. I think we see guys who are better rested because, again, you know, we guess we have the friendly, but you know, half a match, 60 minutes for a lot of the guys, and then we've got a week after Sacramento until Orange County. So I think Saturday night's gonna be a lot of fun. Sacramento, obviously, dangerous side. They're a side that we've had some tremendous moments against. Obviously the Brucey banger a couple years ago, out in Sacramento, losing to them in the playoffs. So yeah, I don't expect like a physical style match like we see with El Paso or San Antonio, but this is again going to be a very good test for Eric Quill and his side to see if they can keep that momentum rolling. And you look at the players that Sacramento has on their roster, and Danny Vitiello in goal, a guy who obviously played for New Mexico United short term. Roro Lopez, like Keiko, Zako Lewis, they've got talent top to bottom. So it's no surprise that they are playing where they are at the moment. I do think that they expect better of themselves. So United can't sit back. We can't sit back and rest on our laurels. We can't allow Sacramento to dictate the pace of play. Otherwise, we will lose to Sacramento on Saturday night.
Yeah, and you said it best. I mean, we can't rest on the laurels that we have. My opinion is, if we go into, and I'm going to allude back to tomorrow, if we go into tomorrow's match with an open mind and actually learn from them, that's what this essentially is going to be. It's us learning from them.
Mm-hmm.
If we learn from them, I think we'll be fine on Saturday. But if we let our egos get in the way and think that just because we can compete with Sunderland and we let that run in our mind, then yeah, we'll get wiped.
Yeah, mentality and mindset is going to be huge Saturday night. Earl, let's go ahead and get your score prediction for Saturday evening.
I was hoping you didn't go to this point. So, a couple weeks back, we were called Corporate Shill.
Mm-hmm.
And me wearing the patch again.
Pride training top.
Yeah, we're both corporate shills tonight.
Yep.
With that, unfortunately, it's Sacramento who are playing incredible. I mean, yeah, we are playing incredible too, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on this one. I say 1-0 Sacramento.
Earl with the surprise pick. Okay, it's not often that you hear Earl pick against New Mexico United. Interesting. You better hope that that David doesn't revoke your corporate card.
I mean, if I lose my corporate man card, and the person that says she was going to sleep 25 minutes ago is now in the chat saying 1-1 is my guess. Marlena, if it is 1-1, I'll be happy. If we somehow squeak out a win, I'll be happy. But like I said, 1-0, and I'm praying to every god that anyone ever believed in, that I am wrong. I am hoping that I'm wrong.
So before we get to my prediction here, Earl, I do have to say, have you not figured out that I know you're still like 22. You're very new to relationships. Lots of times girlfriends, when they say they're going to bed, they lie in bed for hours on end watching TikTok and Facebook and things like that. So they say they're going to bed, but they're just lying in bed. They're not actually going to sleep. Life knowledge, Earl.
Yeah. She usually does. She usually, when she says she goes to bed or she's going to sleep, she puts her phone down and she's gone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could also be reading a book as well. That is something that does happen. So
you read?
I do. I actually do read. Yes, I read quite a bit. I actually just started reading this book here, Mystic River. So just started reading that.
That's a shameless plug to Dwayne Lemon, I think that name was.
Lehane, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Dennis Lehane. So Dennis Lehane, you're welcome. Yeah. You got shameless plug on some lower class playing hillbilly hugging corporate shill podcast.
Right. There you go. I'm sure it'll drive, the one sale. So
I want royalties off of that.
You want royalties? Okay, I'll see what we can do for you, Earl. But yeah, no, I do read. I spend my goal every day is to read 50 pages every single day. So the way, and the reason I do that is because I figure it's somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour worth of reading, and I can get through pretty much any book in about a week and a half, reading 50 pages a day. Now, obviously, some books.
Are you sidetracking because you're predicting against United too?
No, actually, I'm not. I'm not sidetracking because I would typically pick against United in this case. And yes, Star Wars does count in 50 pages. It does count. Sorry, question I had. Star Wars counts. With the Star Wars book, it counts. Saturday night, Sacramento Republic. Again, Sacramento is a tremendously talented team. They brought in Russell Cicerone in the offseason. They brought him in from, I believe he was with Tampa Bay last year. Tremendously talented set of forwards. They got a great midfield. Nick Ross, guys that we are familiar with. This is a tough one. It really is because it's going to be a big mentality game. It's going to be a mindset game coming off of the friendly, coming off of the break. As long as the guys are loose and ready to go, and we come out with a lot of energy, then I see Mexico United picking up a win Saturday night. I've predicted clean sheets here recently. I don't see that happening against Sacramento. They're one of the best goal-scoring clubs in the league. Let me pull up the stats on that real quick here. Wrong page. I do apologize. Stats, team stats. They have a plus 19 goal differential. They have 31 goals on the season, sitting 5th in the league in terms of goals. They scored 4 more than we have. So I look at this again, tremendously dangerous match. We have had momentum at home. I'm going to say 2-1 United here. It really is a tough one to pick. It really is, because again, Sacramento is a tremendously talented team. I think that they can play with anybody, home or away. I think that they have a lot of good things going for them. So that's that's our predictions for Saturday night. Earl taking a 1-0 loss. Me going with a 2-1 win, I should say. I don't believe we're going to get clean sheet out of this one. So yeah, both matches out at the lab. Wins tomorrow night, 7:00. Sunderland AFC. I'll be out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see that match in person. Should be out there Saturday night as well for Meow Wolf night. Again, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Can't wait to be back at the lab. It's been a minute. So looking forward to that.
So before you continue,
yep.
Let me justify my 1-0 loss. Because in the past, hang on. So in the past 6 matches, which has been every time that we've played Sacramento, our head-to-head record with them is 1 win, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Where we've never scored more than 1 goal. No, I take that back. Scored, actually, almost to the day we scored 2 on them. So that's why I say 1-0, because we've only scored twice on them 1 time, and that was 2019.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Sacramento, they're good defensively. They're good offensively. They're very good, particularly through the midfield. You know, they've got guys who can go both ways, play box to box. It's going to be a tough match, no matter what. It would not surprise me if we lost on Saturday night. But I think we have momentum. Again, it's gonna be a mentality thing. If we come out with a mentality that we're gonna win, we're gonna play fast, we're gonna play, with the energy that we've seen over the past several weeks, I think we come out with a win. So, all right, Earl. Before we get out of here, I do have one last question for you. Why can't Vince just give Cody the belt already? I'm tired of seeing him get F5'd in front of his mama.
So Cody won't get the title until WrestleMania of next year.
Yeah, I know.
Because right now he's on Raw, and to finish his story, he has to win the WWE Championship, the one title his dad never held. Who holds that title? The tribal chief.
Freaking Rollins.
No. The tribal chief who will no longer be the tribal chief in a few months. Roman Reigns. I want to see Cody get a belt while he's still here, before he retires. I'm hoping it's not the world heavyweight, but I would love to see him just get any kind of title.
Yeah.
So to the wrestling gods who have some kind of say, I'm going to edit Seth's hashtag, Seth's name tag down there, where it says give Cody the belt already. And I'm going to edit that to say give Cody a belt already.
Okay. There you go. I've been trying to follow it a little bit more than I have in the past, particularly the weekly shows. Sammy and KO running the tag team division, knocking the Judgment Day all over the place week in and week out, apparently. Judgment Day, apparently, looks to me like they're going to be falling apart here at some point soon. And then obviously, the trial over on SmackDown of the Tribal Chief. So, I don't know. The Usos are getting pops.
Yeah, the Usos will become good guys here in the next couple weeks, more than what they already are right now, and then it'll be fun times of wrestling again.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, and I think that I may know the answer to this. You didn't go to the Duke City Wrestling on Saturday, did you?
I did not.
No, okay. I know you said that you were at the Isotopes game. I know we had talked about you potentially going to the Duke City Wrestling thing over the weekend, so.
I actually spaced it. My buddy Soul Rack Thunder who's a local indie scene wrestler. Probably could have got me tickets to it, but we had so many things going on this past weekend that it wasn't going to happen regardless.
Yeah. Well, all right. I was just curious. I didn't think you went with a mention of the Isotopes game, but I just wanted to ask and see.
I do know that there's midget wrestling in Clovis in 3 weeks.
Okay. Do you have details on this event, Earl?
I do not, but tune in next week and I will.
All right, there you go. That's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Marlena, Adam, Jane, anybody watching or listening later this week on YouTube, Facebook, or podcast services around the world, we do appreciate your support each and every week. Again, Sunderland AFC tomorrow night, Wednesday, 7 o'clock kickoff out at the lab. Saturday night, New Mexico United against Sacramento Republic. Meow Wolf night. Again, a 7 o'clock kickoff there as well. Get out, show your support for New Mexico United. Both matches, eat your brain puffs like a 2-year-old, so you can be smart like Earl. For Earl, for Jacob, who isn't with us again this week. Jacob, we miss you, buddy. Can't wait for you to be back. Hopefully, you can hop on the show before you do leave for the academy. Can't wait to get your thoughts on upcoming matches. So for Jacob, for Earl, for myself, thank you guys so much. And we'll be back Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, as we talk about the Sunderland AFC International Friendly and these results from Sacramento Republic Saturday night out at the lab. Until next time, folks, Somos Unidos.